It's day 7 of the Fall of Winterhome, and it's time to gear up for Phase 2 to find out why the generator is failing. So without further ado, let's get started.
Brace yourselves, cold is coming.
Right at the start, the dreaded temperature drop that we've been anticipating since day 3 has arrived. We pause the moment this event begins to check out the gaps in our heat coverage as indicated by the snowflakes above the buildings. Using our heat overlay, we can see that we're barely scraping by right now. Our main objective right now is to make sure that the people have somewhere to go when we remove all the buildings in the cold. As a precaution, we're going to make a few minor adjustments to the road network and add more shelters in the heated areas. It might take you a little bit of time to find and consider different locations as ruins are cleared. While removing paths, be careful not to isolate different parts of the city by accident. A good rule of thumb is to see that there are at least 2 or 3 paths connecting each concentric ring. We also kick up the range setting here to 3 to expand the heat to a 3rd ring so that we can add more tents. We'll place 4 tents here to replace the ones that are in the cold at the moment. Let's cancel this tent construction here as it no longer makes sense now that there is a better spot. Since one of the tents will be ready soon, we'll start taking down the first one. One of the medical posts has been completed, so we start taking down the one on the side to transfer the engineers to the new one. After that, we'll continue to remove the other cold tents as the new ones in the 3rd ring are finished. Looks like another rescue operation is needed, so we're going to need a gathering post nearby. To speed up the rescue operation, we'll place 2 of them to cover this area and make sure there are paths for easy access. Good thing we've got the area cleared out now so that we've got space for them. At 11 AM, our scouts arrive at the stone ship to set out toward the mass grave in the distance. Meanwhile, we check the workshops to free up sick engineers and place another steam hub to cover them. This isn't absolutely necessary, but it's a good habit to get into in terms of micromanaging the people to minimize the time lost while they recover. The steam hub is the cherry on top for these engineers. A few moments later, the gathering post is completed and we start our rescue operation. Shortly afterward, the difference engine research is completed, and we start unlocking the advanced steelworks building. Looks like frostbite is setting in, so we'll need that factory and the prosthetics law soon. At 1 PM, our 2nd scout team arrives at the frozen forest to collect some wood. They've gone as far as they can here, so it's time to head back home. Looks like we're full up on steel. We need to use some of it. But first we should turn on the heater at the coal mine for our workers. The shrines are making an impact, but we need to ensure that our heat coverage is good. To that end, we'll readjust the steam hub locations near the mines for better coverage. This will ensure that we'll get the most out of these buildings for the next few days. Looks like more ruins are being cleared, so we'll start upgrading straight to houses around the core since we have plenty of resources. Building real houses adds 2 heat levels, or 20 degrees of warmth. While we're at it, we'll continue to monitor our workshops for sick engineers. By the way, there are a few homeless people since I went a bit overboard in the housing upgrades, but they'll be completed soon. We'll wait for a moment as we let the changes we've made play out. In the meantime, we also place 4 more depots to expand storage capacity. We also placed 2 care houses to free up space in the medical posts. Looks like our gathering post has done its job, so we'll take it down. Once our advanced steelworks is researched, it's time to start unlocking the repair station for the generator, and we immediately upgrade both steelworks. Outside of running these two 24/7, this is the highest output for steel in the city. Our new houses are finished, so we can take down a few tents. Quite an upgrade for those people. At 6:30, our scouts reach the mass grave and take the 2 steam cores there. That was the last location down this path, so it's time to go home. However, we'll head to the lone boulder first, as we might be able to check out the rock formation if the second scout team doesn't get to it first. Meanwhile, we're going to continue building more tents so that we can upgrade housing a bit faster. We also double check the House of Prayer coverage, as we'll really need the hope boost soon. And this is another reason why we're trying to consolidate our housing around the generator. 2 of the 4 depots are complete, so we assign 1 for food rations and 1 for raw food. We'll leave the remaining 2 alone for now and assign them as needed. As you can see, amputees will fill the care houses once they're built. As each one holds 20 people, we can take care of all of them. This is where the amputees will stay until the factory we'll be building soon can provide them with prosthetics. As night falls, we check our coal. Looks like we've got a shortage, so it's time to start gathering coal from the thumper we built the other day. At this point, 2 gathering posts will be enough to keep up with the coal production. We also check all the steam hubs to make sure they're set appropriately. After all the changes we've made today to adjust for the temperature drop, it's a good time to do this audit. A short while later, the second scout team drops off their goodies and heads toward the rock formation. We're almost done exploring the map. At 12:30, it's finally time to start building the factory. We'll enact the prosthetics law soon, so we want it to be ready when that happens. We also continue upgrading our housing so that we can keep everyone warm. Ultimately, we want to have at least 2 rings of houses. This will ensure enough warm housing and faith coverage. We'll assign the factory to make automatons for the time being. However, we'll need to be careful, as we'll need all the steam cores we can get. We have a few more people falling ill right now, and our generator is nearing its limits. Time to increase our steam level and turn off the overdrive. We also want to assign people to the gathering posts near the thumpers for tomorrow to keep up with demand. At this point, we're poised to start cranking out resources to store for the second phase of the scenario. We've cleaned up most of the city, explored most of the wasteland, and we'll be ready to help our amputees and find out what's wrong with the generator. After this though, we'll have to plan our exit and keep the generator running as we do. If you want to see the general strategies to save everyone in the rest of the scenario, click or tap the link to check it out. And if you've enjoyed this guide, please click the like button. This is Fat Beats, signing out.